This is Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the May 4th meeting of the Michigan City Tree Board. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accessLaPorteCounty.org.
I just wanted to introduce Mark Passarelli, certified arborist. He's worked with, he's out the Porter area, so he's very accessible to us. That's been his career. Worked with a lot of big companies, NIPSCO being one of his firm's clients. He's with Arbormetrics, but he's just retired.
So congratulations.
Yes.
So it sounds like
Okay.
the
We'll
position
give
is
him a
going
chance
from
to give us a song and dance here in a little bit.
it sounds like the position is going from forester to arborist.
I was never able to find a forester, and Mark can explain that to you. There's a little bit of a difference in what they do.
Yeah. I guess I think we still need a forester.
Yeah.
You know, to overlook.
Well, if you can find one, I'll buy you a steak dinner, because I could never find one. When I called them, I found an association of foresters, and I called 5 or 6 of them, and they all said, we don't work for municipalities. We work for companies that harvest forest, Weyerhaeuser, Georgia Pacific. We don't work for municipalities. So
But there are,
that title crept in. I don't know when it got into the mix, but
as long as I've been here.
There are city foresters too. I mean, there are those that work for
Yeah.
the lumber companies, but there's city foresters
Yeah.
too. But it sounds like difficult to find them.
I've been told, Mr. Mayor, by people in the business that it's better to seek entitle the position as a forester, because you'll get better level of candidates who are looking for more broader responsibilities than just individual tree work. And I don't know, I'm not an expert in the field, but that's what I have been told by people who are in the business. Is the position advertised currently, or what is the status of that?
we advertised it for a while, and then we had no success, so we pulled it off, because Indeed was costing us $100 a day.
So right now, it's not being advertised?
Right now, at this moment, it's not being
Because I
advertised.
think one thing that we wanted was to have a link to where the
description is in
the position,
applications, yeah.
because there are Facebook groups in the forestry business that are open to good places to post this position, and then some of the
Free,
universities.
I was gonna say, without a charge.
Some of the universities in the Chicago
Yes.
area that are in this field, that have programs in this field, that would be really good to put this kind of information out for, and target. Indeed is too broad, that
Okay.
And
there
too
are more
expensive.
targeted ways to find the kind of person that we would want in this position.
Well, we can certainly post it, that's no problem. We can post it to universities. I think Chicago, unless the person is willing to relocate, is a little bit remote. Mr. Passarelli's just down the road at Port.
But some
So he's
people
very
are
available.
willing to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I thought the whole idea now in Michigan City is that we're trying
More
to get
accessible to
commuters.
Chicago, right? Once the 2 tracks
Commute
there,
from
right now they're pretty
Chicago.
torn up.
But I do think having the job description available is very important, because like I've been reaching out to some of my contacts, and it's like, well, what's the job about?
Yeah,
It's
we
like,
need
well, there's not a
We need
link.
a link to
If we
the
can link
posting.
in and offer
Sure.
that to everybody else, take a look at the job
I'll get that for
description.
you, I'll get that for you. Right now,
I
the
asked Chris
city's
about
in
that
a
earlier.
little state of flux. I
Sure.
just lost my personnel director.
Yeah.
Andrea Smith went to LaPorte, which I let Mr. Dermody, we're good friends, but I told him I don't stop
Quit
poaching my
stealing
people.
my people. right?
And I'm losing my chief code compliance inspector, Christina Vanderberg. She's marvelous, but it's a question of money too. The
Your city
council-
engineer recently as well. So,
Yeah, the council has got the purse strings battened down, and that's their role. And until we can convince them to do otherwise, I'm concerned about our administration, that
Sure.
we may have more exodus going on.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I'll get that link, and we'll get it posted.
With the description. Great.
We'll need to interrupt your meeting.
no, I'm gonna call
Thank
it
you.
to order now. All right, this is the Wednesday, May 4th meeting of the Michigan City Tree Board. Call to order. Like a roll call, please.
Clay Putnam, absent. Laura Henderson, here. James Melowitz,
Here.
Tim Werner,
Here.
Mary Nell Murphy,
Here.
Paul Przybalinsky, absent. He has a good excuse. He's at the city council meeting, which I didn't realize was relocated to today because of election
Election
day.
day, right.
So, okay, oh,
All right.
autographs. So we just barely have a quorum.
All right, we made it. Mary, if you could sign
Yes.
that.
Thank you.
You did, okay.
Thank you.
All right, has everyone had a chance to see the minutes of our meeting of last month?
James.
I have, but I'll have to abstain because I wasn't here, so I have no way of
Did you
knowing
get a
if
chance
it's accurate.
to, you've read them though?
I've read them.
You have any issues with them?
No.
Okay. Anyone else? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of April 6, 2022?
I move to approve the minutes.
Do I have a
Second.
second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Opposed? Hearing none, meeting, the minutes are approved. All right, Secretary Treasurer's reports and claims. Madam Secretary?
Did everybody get this in the email?
Yes.
Okay. I talked to Carrie about payment for the executive sessions. She said she was mistaken when she told me before that that could happen, that that doesn't happen. The pay is only for the regular meetings, so.
Okay, because one thing she said was we would have a certain number of payments for the year,
I know.
and we could
Yeah.
take the payment early for
She
executive session.
backtracked on all of
Okay.
that, so. I
So no
didn't
payment
follow
for
up on
executive session.
details. It's possible she's wrong. But,
Any other report or claims discussions? Or anything else? No?
if anybody needs to see it, it's here.
All right, can we approve the, do we have to approve this?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve our budget from last month?
I so move.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Hearing none, the budget passes. All right, communications. Do we have any communications for the tree board?
From the, yes, I think, to the, if this is a communication, I received a response from NIPSCO to our grant request,
Yes.
and in the negative, it was not granted, so maybe next year we'll try again.
I think I asked you in the response email, they do it every year, correct?
They do, I think so, yes, and I have no idea why we didn't get it. They said they had 45 applicants, which sounds like a lot, and maybe they just didn't have enough money to go around, so
Could be.
give it a shot next year.
They know how many grants they awarded, did they say? How many?
I do not.
45?
Do not.
Yeah. 44.
Yeah.
Yeah, 44. We were 45th on the list.
I thought we had a very persuasive application myself, but not to be. So maybe we can apply for that tree grant that
Community tree grant.
Mick procured last year.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
I would love to.
Toward the fall and try to get those trees.
Yeah. I did talk to Paul Prespolinski today, that's why I know where he is. And he said he's been looking for trees in his tree lawn for 20 years. So apparently he didn't see our advertisements for our thing last year, but if we do it again, I think he should have some trees.
Sure.
I called Tatanisha, who's the new director of personnel today, and she said it will be posted in about 2 weeks,
What will be posted?
the arborist or forester position, but she will definitely post it as arborist.
So it'll be on, by posting, you mean on the city website?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I assume that's what she meant. 'Cause
okay.
I hope they're not gonna use Indeed again.
How would we go about changing the description of it from arborist to maybe arborist slash urban forester?
I think that's all we need to ask them to do, and I think anytime we send it out to anybody, we should indicate that that's
Yeah.
the case, so.
Well,
When we get the link to it from the mayor's office here in the next day or two, hopefully, then we can take a look at what the actual description now says and see if we can request it be modified to that arborist slash urban forester
I would go
title.
through the mayor.
Because I think it's a good position, and I think the money is fair,
Yeah.
and for somebody who wants to work in a smaller town like this, smaller community like this, particularly if they're up and coming, beginning, whatever, maybe or more experienced, it's a good position.
Yeah, based on our previous interviews, it seemed like the salary was significant for what they were looking for, so
Yes.
I don't think there's an issue with the salary now. Thank
Agreed.
goodness we got that taken care of.
Has there been any, maybe I should raise this later, I don't know, but I'm kind of out of order here, but I'll go anyway. Is there any discussion with Paul Prespolinski about procuring money from the
Oh.
city council
He talked a lot about getting money for trees.
for trees?
I reminded him that follow-up care of the trees is critically important, or we lose the trees. We lose the investment. I mean, it's a waste of money if we don't take care of the trees
Correct.
and they all die. So I did talk about that with him. He has this idea of getting people to adopt a tree, kind of making it more official that the residents take care of the trees in their tree lawn. I don't think we can do this backwards, but new people who request a tree
Right,
would agree.
yeah,
And he has an idea, I'm not sure how this would work.
that's a great idea. They should be,
Yeah.
they should buy into the process for sure, but if they're getting a city tree put on their lawn, but first we have to have the money to get the trees, and
Well, yeah.
if he's willing to advocate for that with.
Oh, he is. And, yeah, he has an idea, and this, I'm not sure how it would work, but getting the water department to put something on their spigot to measure how much they use to water the tree. What's gonna keep them from watering everything?
Right.
So, but that they would get reimbursed or have that deducted from their water bill, I don't know.
Do you think?
An interesting idea, but I'm not sure it would work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
The implementation would
that
be
seems
difficult.
sounds complicated. But do you, Tim, do you think that putting together some sort of proposal for Paul to consider and perhaps present to the council, and he would know the best way to do that, say we need this much money to plant this many trees, that type of thing, to get some funding in the pipeline here?
I think we've tried that before through Dahlia, haven't we? And it didn't really go anywhere with
I
the
don't
council. But it's worth a try. I mean,
It's
certainly,
worth a try. He was talking about $60,000.
That would be a lot of trees.
That would be,
That'd be
A significant number anyway, yes.
yeah.
Would that be just trees or also some maintenance dollar set aside?
you know,
for
that's
that?
why I talked about that, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right,
I don't know.
right.
So,
Sounds like maybe we ought to have a conversation with him about what he thinks is
Yeah.
most.
Laura, you said you discussed these things with him. Can you check with him and get a little more in-depth as to what he's thinking? And if we need to come up with a written proposal to give him to present to the city council, or if he just will do that, how he wants our assistance in this. And we'll get whatever he needs from our end, and if he's got everything he needs, probably, what would you think, 50,000 in trees and 10,000 in maintenance is probably, if we were looking at $60,000.
Sure.
I mean, it's worth a shot. I don't know exactly how the maintenance would work out, because I would imagine it would be more something for city services
Right,
to
yeah.
do, rather than something where we hire someone.
And, I mean, obviously, the money for maintenance is important, but it might be just as important to get designated that a department would, take care of that.
Yeah.
Getting,
Yeah.
confirmation that would fall under their
Yeah.
purview.
And we really were just looking at maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years of watering, occasional
Right, to
watering.
get it established.
That's it. After that,
Yeah.
you're home
I would
free.
say at least 2 years. I often run across the number 3 years. But I suppose, I don't know, depends.
Okay, any other issues under communications?
Oh, I was gonna say, Tatanisha, I spoke of the position as the forester, and she was quite clear with me that it had been changed to arborist, so we might have to be a little...
Do we know anything about the process of how it got changed? I mean, it certainly didn't come from the tree board.
She said they did a lot of research, and they
was my
found out
understanding.
that it's a whole different animal. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I thought that it would be a discussion item at the tree board, but
So
That's why I
she
was
did research, I did
curious.
I did a quick glance at Google, if you call it research. And I saw it, and you probably know more about this than I do, certainly, that an arborist is usually somebody who takes care of individual trees, often privately. I imagine you're not doing privately, but you're doing it for a private company on a large scale. Whereas a forester, an urban forester, is looking at the canopy of a city as a whole.
It's corporate farming. It's silviculture is the term they use for it.
Silviculture, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great word, yeah.
They're looking at crops, trees as crops more than
Well-
as an individual. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say a lot of foresters do, and that's what he was talking about. But an urban forester
It's a different animal.
is different.
Yeah.
I think they're looking at trees enhancing the life of the city in all the different
Because in
ways.
this
it
position,
happens.
we have to consider the city as a whole.
Right.
Yeah,
And it's not just individual trees that we're concerned
Yeah.
about. But
Yeah.
anyway, the discussion about how to label the job all occurred before I got here, before you got here, and before Tim got here, actually, I think.
Yeah.
And so to the
It's been-
extent,
It's been back and forth a couple of times, it seems like.
so the description, I mean, the job description is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think rather than change the title from the mayor's office, it's probably, that sort of backs up the process here. I mean, I think we're better taking the link that we have and then advertising it in the way that we think it should be advertised. And then somebody can look at the job description and say, hey, that fits within what I do, or it doesn't, you know?
Right.
Our ordinance refers to a city forester.
Right.
Yes, yes, right. And the E-Michigan City site, it's forester.
Forester,
Yeah.
and I think it was forester for as long as I've been
So-
here until maybe sometime last year.
So I think it's accurate to
When the whole
characterize it
business
as
of
an
replacing-
arborist / urban forester kind of position. Because it includes elements of both.
Yeah. I could go with that.
Anything else, Laura? Communications?
Well, I think you were all copied on this one. Yeah, you got an email from Chris Yagowski with the departure of Andrea and Tatanisha jumping in. Things have delayed a little. She is working on this, and currently Mayor Perry has reached out to a certified arborist who is retiring. So that's.
And
I
here you
think-
are.
And here I am.
Okay. Any other communications?
I don't think so.
All right. Committee reports, outreach. Laura, you want to talk a little bit? I think with outreach, maybe a discussion of our library giveaway might be a good thing to talk about. What happened
Oh, yeah,
there?
I will get to that, but first I have to share this wonderful article that you sent out. So I'm going to, I think many of you saw this, but I wanted to read a little bit of it for the
Yeah.
public. So this is something that Tim sent out to us. It's from Science Daily.
There, it's hard
Thank
to
you.
say.
U.S. trees may provide over $100 billion in savings via environmental benefits, but face growing threats. So I'm going to skip a lot of this, but the concept of ecosystem services allows researchers to quantify the benefits that nature contributes to people into monetary units. A new study suggests that trees provide greater economic value when used to regulate climate and air quality than the value they produce as wood products, food crops, and Christmas trees. Trees sequester and store greenhouse gases, filter air pollutants, provide wood, food, and other products, among other benefits. And most of us know here, there are a lot of other benefits, but
Trees are good.
yeah.
Yes. And we need more of them.
We do.
This study measures the net value of 5 tree-related ecosystem services by calculating the value of benefits they provide minus the direct costs incurred to produce these services. And it didn't, I don't see this as a list of, well, maybe it is. The 5 key ecosystem services included climate regulating services from carbon storage, filtration of particulate matter from the air that harms human health, and provisioning services from production of wood products, food crops, and Christmas trees. The researchers found that the value of these 5 ecosystem services generated by trees totaled $114 billion annually. Carbon storage in tree biomass comprised 51% of this. Human health damages, that was 37%. The remaining 12% was the provisioning services. Now this is interesting. Trees in the pine and oak families were the most valuable. And we're giving away red oak trees and white pine trees among, there's also 5 other wonderful species too. But we are giving those away this Saturday.
When will that be, Laura?
That will be May 7th at the farmer's market from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock this Saturday.
And where is the farmer's market at?
It's on the corner of 8th Street and Washington Street. So it's the first farmer's market of the season, and we will be there giving away trees. So
Great.
Are they
Don't get
free?
your-
These trees
They're
are free.
And how many trees can each person take?
Good point.
Well, it depends on how many we have left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like 2 to 4, like one to, a few, it depends
Yeah,
how rapidly they're going.
I think this past Saturday, probably the most we gave was 7 trees to one person, maybe 6 to one
Maybe
person.
6. I
Yeah.
think the earlier you get there, maybe we'll be stingier.
Yes.
But if we get to the end of the day and we have tons of trees left,
Come on down.
You want
Yeah.
4 red oaks, here you go. You want 4 white pine, take those.
you
two.
also
Yeah.
run the
As long as
risk
you got a
of
place for 'em.
us having run out of trees.
That's right. And the most important is that they get planted and cared for.
Therefore,
Yes,
immediately,
yes.
yep.
So they need to be watered
like crazy.
regularly, probably once a week for the
At
first
least,
2 years.
Yeah,
maybe
try and get
3
them
years.
planted that day, if possible.
If possible, plant them that day, yes.
Else, a great Mother's Day activity the next day.
Oh, and it sure is. Also, when you mulch a new planted tree, or any tree, please do not allow the mulch to touch the tree itself.
Correct.
It should be protecting the soil around the tree.
No volcano.
No,
Yeah, I was just gonna say, no volcanoes,
Yes,
make it like a moat.
yes, like a moat.
Exactly.
And it can help to keep the lawnmowers away, because
Yes.
lawnmowers often
Nick.
damage,
Yeah.
nick the bark and
Yeah.
damage the tree that way.
And weed
that's-
whackers are
Oh,
particularly
Weed
oh,
whackers
yeah,
are very
weed
hard on
whackers,
young
yeah.
tree bark.
So make a nice wide moat with the mulch,
Yep.
not too thick. I think 3 inches is the most thickness you should have anywhere.
And water,
And
water,
it
water.
should not touch the trunk of the tree at all.
So to recap, we're giving away free trees
Yes.
on Saturday morning at the farmer's market. Please come and get some trees and plant them.
I have a few more things to say out of this
Please.
article. The study had several limitations that likely contributed to an undervaluing of ecosystem services, since the researchers did not have access to data for many ecosystem services, such as erosion control, flood regulation, shade-related energy savings, which is very personal to me, but I won't go into that. So, here's what the authors say. The study shows that the hidden value of trees, the non-market value from carbon storage and air pollution filtration, far exceeds their commercial value. Sustaining the value of trees requires intentional management of forests and trees in the face of myriad and simultaneous global change threats. Our research team found that climate change threatens nearly 90% of tree species, while pests and pathogens put 40% of the combined weight of all U.S. trees at risk. They also found that the species and lineages of greatest ecosystem service value are the most at risk from pests and pathogens, climate change, and increasing fire exposure. So thank you for sending that excellent article.
It was an excellent article.
Yes.
When I found it, I'm like, okay, this has got to be shared with everybody. And it was interesting to me, being on the civil engineering side, how much we know trees are involved in helping us control stormwater runoff.
Yes.
That they didn't even, that's not even included in that number.
It's
They know
not
it's
even
there.
included, yeah, because they didn't have enough data.
Yeah, so we know that in the civil engineering side, the trees are very much an important part of any urban stormwater runoff control program. And that saves a lot of money.
Yeah.
You're not putting pipe in the ground because you're putting trees on the ground.
Yes.
I had a question, can I ask?
Sure.
For your free trees, are you gonna give instructions to these people as to where to plant that? Because a white pine, I mean, you're not gonna wanna put that on an easement, or that tree's gonna get 100 feet tall and 4 feet in
Yeah,
diameter.
we've described the tree sizes and everything to everybody. We have a sheet that they can all look at and see, okay, the dogwood gets 15, 20 feet
Yeah.
tall.
And people were taking photos, you know, of the
Isn't there,
information sheets.
aren't public comments, and he's a member of the public, aren't they reserved for the
They can
end of the
take
meeting?
comments then, yeah.
Oh, okay,
But,
all right, I'll wait, sorry.
and, no, that's fine. Any other committee report?
Let's see.
We don't have education, gardening, landscaping, public relations, not really. Calendar events we talked about.
Mayor's proclamation. Did you get that?
He did not do that, and I think what I want to try to do is, since last year he did it for the first farmer's market, that was Arbor Day, I think we'll talk to him about doing it for, even though Arbor Day was this past week, we'll have him just do May 7th as Michigan City Arbor Day, the day of the tree giveaway.
Do you want to get that from him?
I'll get that from
Okay,
him.
because wasn't that part of the Tree
We
City?
need it for Tree City, yes,
Yeah,
we need it for the Tree City.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
And, Laura, were you going to tell us a little bit about what happened at the tree giveaway last weekend?
Oh, it was great fun.
At the library? How many
Tim was
trees-
there, Mary, I don't know, we didn't count, but a lot of people, and the big draw
Oh my
was
God,
pawpaw trees.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody
Pawpaws
wanted
were-
pawpaw trees.
They're right.
And we gave them out in
Pawpaws are great.
pairs.
Yes, yeah. I wouldn't give them out singly because they won't fruit.
Less likely to anyway, if those was one
Yeah,
close in the
they
neighborhood.
may not fruit anyway because they're kind of picky that way. But yeah,
Great.
I would, based on, I've collected all the trees that we were done and carried them back to my house and have been watering them and everything. I
Thank
think
you.
we gave away close to 100 out of the 700 trees.
I would
we had.
guess
Just,
that,
you know,
too.
I mean, we were inside the library building, which, you know, I thought when we first got there that we'd be out front or something, but we're inside the building, so we've got this big tarp Laura brought. We had it taped around the floor so that any of the debris falling off all the trees we're handing out was caught and that, but.
I
oh,
did
it
not
was-
bring that. That was from
Oh, that was there.
Yeah.
That's right. That
Well, that's
was.
great. It was a nice picture that you guys sent out too as well,
Good.
of the
Yeah.
tree givers. The farmer's market, that's going to be outdoors?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we don't need to talk.
And you're gonna bring back the plastic bags? I think you got a
Yeah.
whole bunch from
I did,
mine.
Yes, they're-
Laura still had them in
So
the
Filled
car.
up my taxi.
Yeah, you know, people use those, I mean, it's kind of
Yes.
messy, but they use those,
Yeah.
and there was nice information, like photos and information on the care of them.
Yes.
And I saw a lot of people taking pictures, you know, on their
That's
phone
Yeah.
of those, you know, sheets.
Yeah,
And then
Tim-
we labeled them what they were
Yeah.
too, so they wouldn't get home and wonder what it was.
Tim had great printouts from Arbor Day that showed pictures of the trees and details about their growth, so that was very good.
Yeah, so it was an amazing turnout there at the library. We had a lot of
That's
fun.
great.
I was surprised. I really didn't expect the turnout and the number of trees given away that we gave away
Yeah.
at the library for this Earth Day celebration thing the library was doing.
Have we done any kind of press release about the giveaway this Saturday to get any press announcement on this?
That's something, Laura, you were going to follow. I know I heard it on the radio on both
Oh.
WIMS
You did.
and WFM last week about the library giveaway. I think that was probably either Thursday night or Friday morning. They talked about it for Saturday, and I would imagine they'll do the same thing at the farmer's market. So I don't know if you contacted someone, Laura, about that, or if...
I talked to people on the Sustainability Commission about talking about that.
Yeah, because they were the sponsor of the
Yeah.
library thing, right?
Yeah,
So
but I didn't do.
can you find out who it was they talked to at the radio stations or whatever? We
Probably
can,
Rick Federici, but I mean, we have like,
we can maybe
day.
do this. Yeah, well, it's just a call tomorrow. Just ask if they can announce that it will be at the farmer's market on Saturday, that we'll be giving
Okay.
away trees.
I did hear, I didn't see the photo, but I did hear that the next day, or maybe the Monday, that photo, or some close photo to what I had sent around, was on the front page of the Dispatch, I guess.
Yeah, it was in the...
Was it? Oh, that's great, that's great. So, a question here, does the city have like a press officer that handles the city's communications with the media that we could?
I think the closest thing would be Chris Yagelski, don't you think? The
Yeah,
mayor's
he does
chief
send
of
out
staff,
some-
basically, yeah.
So
Some
it's somebody
press
who
releases.
would send an email making this announcement and asking them to disseminate that news to the local
That would
media.
be great.
So would it be Yagelski, you think?
That's my guess. I will send him an email tomorrow morning, actually even tonight when I get home.
Because there's still time to get it in the
Yeah.
paper for
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday. That would.
We'll certainly get it on the radio, so.
Yeah. It does, and I assume that the farmer's market gets generally a pretty good crowd.
yes, yeah.
Depends on the weather.
Yeah, it does. It totally depends on the
Yeah,
weather.
Saturday's gonna be,
I think there's a chance of rain Saturday.
maybe, yeah.
At least earlier in the week, it looked like it was gonna be raining in the morning.
But we did,
It's
talk
looking-
up a lot to people that came by, that
Yes.
they were gonna be giving them out at the
Yes.
farmer's market. If for some that took trees and some that did not take trees.
Yes.
He said that would be another opportunity.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be clear, but cool on Saturday.
And we're all used to that now.
Yeah, really.
No kidding, where's the warmth this spring?
I know.
It looks like it's maybe Tuesday next week, 75, so.
There we go.
Okay.
There's summer and then,
Okay, so I will follow up with the, getting the Arbor Day resolution from the mayor's office and talk to Chris about getting a notice of our tree giveaway and tonight or email.
I put up on the farmer's market, I will bring the flag, the Tree City flag again. That was good to
That's
have, I
great,
think, in
yeah,
the
I love that.
library. I'll have that. And then I did talk to Steve Hahn in Vector Control, who's, kind of taken on, or was asked to take on some of the duties in me absence. And I asked him about, unless this comes up later, I'm gonna talk about signage for the tree board. But I asked him to look for that, and he hadn't seen that, but he will look for any existing signage for tree board, because I said we just had a handwritten one that said tree board.
Yeah,
We pinned to the flag.
yeah.
And he thought he could get us something.
Well, I said if you can't locate anything, then I think we need to get something made.
I'm sure there's something, but whether it can be found or not is another matter.
We did find the signs, I think, right?
Yes, he did say that he found the signs that they hadn't been used in 4 years because it still said 18 years Tree City. And I had dropped off the 22 years updated stickers, but he said he thought those were ships passing in the night, but he thinks he knows where those might end up. And as soon as he locates the stickers that I left with a big note and everything in a folder, that he will put those on the signs. And then he said that he would put them up either here at City Hall or at some, gate, entrance way, so that people can see them.
Great. Yeah, I think.
And then I got my little plug-in about Birds Town signs are coming in as well.
Yeah, I think having one on 421 and 94 would be a good place to show our Tree City designation.
I agree. And there are multiple signs, so it's possible.
Okay, so I think we covered everything in the committee reports. City park trees, anything, anybody? That's usually the forester discussions, same as the tree walk in the city street trees.
Well, kind of related to that is, what happened to the 6 trees or so that were left over from the last grant planting that Mick had? That he was maintaining. Have we planted those? Should we plant those? Should we talk to him about doing something with those trees?
They were supposed to go to the Parks Department at some point. I don't know if they have.
Can you follow up with Parks Department or with Mick and see where?
I will
where's
check
that?
with the Parks Department. I
Maybe if you can get that
feel
information
terrible
before.
about calling Mick at this point.
Well,
Because in order to, we want to maintain our good reputation with the grantor
yeah.
Yes,
for future
yes.
grants.
Okay, so grants, purchasing and tree planting, we've discussed. Planning Department. I have not had a meeting with Skylar to talk about their requirements on trees. We know last year they passed the ordinance that anyone with an undeveloped lot with trees has to identify those trees before they do any development of the site. So that was a big thing last year, I think, as far as trees, trees on the undeveloped site. I think if it's over an acre, so small individual home sites, not so much, but somebody who has a few acre or an acre that they want to turn into several home sites has to identify all the trees on their site first. That was fought by several property owners, but it finally passed, so that's our ordinance now.
Great.
Urban forest, plan management, forester, tree city designation, we talked about that. Mary, do you want to bring us up to speed a little more on that? Do you have a little more to add?
Just it.
Yeah, that's basically it. I think we're almost there with the tree signs are located in one place. The stickers I dropped off here, but it was on Good Friday and the maintenance guy left me in. So they're somewhere in the building, and Steve said we don't throw anything away here, so he thought he could locate it. So I have high hopes. He's going to let me know about that.
Okay. Those fundraising efforts, we did have our donation can out for the tree giveaway over the weekend, and you collected the money and took it. Did you ever count? I don't remember. Did you send an email to us how much it was?
I sent a
Do you
text. I
remember?
think it was $103.
103, that's what it was, yeah. So we got $103 at the.
Yeah, a lot of people they took trees and then they I'll donate something,
Yeah.
That's great.
It was great.
Yeah.
So I still have it. I figured I'd wait till after
So,
Saturday's
yeah, and
event.
I think, what did we do last year? Like 183 or 187 or something at the farmer's
Yeah,
market
but
last year. So.
it wasn't just at the farmer's market, it was also from Beachside, because people donated there too.
That's
so-
right, for the leftover
So
trees.
it sounds like if we only got rid of 100
Yeah,
trees,
and-
which
and that's
is hard to
something that-
believe.
yeah,
It
and
seems
that's-
like we gave away a lot more than 100.
Yeah, we might have, I mean,
Yeah.
but just kind of the weight and the way the
Yeah.
pawpaws, I don't think we were quite at 50, so we're a little less than half of the pawpaws, but there were a lot of other trees that went. Not a lot of the cypress. I don't think, did we? I don't even remember if we gave away more than 2 or 3 of the cypress. But
I think those were the ones you took.
it might be.
Yeah, I don't remember anyone else taking bald cypress. I forgot even that was one of those
Those are my
species.
favorite trees.
They are
I love
them.
they're
Get
very
some.
beautiful trees. There are plenty of them. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be any issue with you taking some at the end of our giveaway. But talking about that, Laura Clark last year, after it said she would take whatever trees we had left over to Beachside Gardens and then give those away as continuing efforts of the tree board to get trees out to the city and accept donations, which she did, and she will do so this year if we are so inclined. So basically whatever is left after this Saturday's giveaway, we'll take to Beachside Gardens, and Laura's staff will
Great.
take care and hand them out as requested. So
Great.
So we have that option. Old business, we have considered changes in tree ordinance to keep up with changing times. And I did mention already that our ordinance was changed last year. It's about the identification of trees on undeveloped lots. I don't know what other changes we might want to look
Well,
at.
that wasn't actually in the tree ordinance, that was a separate
Yeah.
thing.
So we'll
Yeah.
table that for
Yeah.
now. New business, tree board
Well, there's the
signage.
other old business is the forester position,
We've kind of,
which maybe
okay,
is
now
this
it's
the
time,
time
yeah.
for?
Forester position, yes, old business. We had interviews with foresters. We had someone we thought was gonna come and join us, and they backed out the last minute. So we still have that open position, and we do have someone with us today that might be interested in that. So if you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I have a point of order first. I thought this interviewing process is supposed to be done in executive session and not as part of the formal meeting.
Well, we're not interviewing him right now. He's just telling us what they do, since the mayor asked.
And as long as you know that this is a public meeting.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
yeah, my name's Mark Passarelli. I've been a resident of Porter County for almost 30 years. I'm presently a utility planner for Arbormetrics, which is a NIPSCO contractor. I pretty much talk to most of the municipalities in Porter County, LaPorte County, and Lake County. I usually have to go where people have planted trees that they shouldn't have planted, and they've grown into the power lines, causing safety issues. So I'm a certified ISA arborist through the International Society of Arboriculture. I've been doing that for 5 years. Previous to that, I worked for True Green. I was a business development representative. I called on businesses and municipalities to do, lawn maintenance, fertilization. We did inoculation of trees for emerald ash borer. I have a degree in biology, which I got from the University of Stevens Point, Wisconsin.
Excuse me, Mr. Pastorella, do you have a resume for us?
I got an electronic version. I emailed it to the mayor. I can email it. If you give me your email address, I can send it to you.
I will give you that after the meeting.
Yeah.
I will, but Mr. Chairman or President, I do think this is inappropriate procedure here to be interviewing this candidate for this position.
Again, we're not interviewing him, he's just telling us about his history. And the next question I was gonna ask is, you trim for NIPSCO. Since we're giving away trees and gonna have our residents planting trees, what recommendation do you have for keeping distance away from NIPSCO power lines for trees that they plant?
Well, that's one of the things I give out when I call on property owners. That's actually the tree recommendations with the tree species, highlighting like where you should position trees depending on their species and pretty much their height.
I think this would be something good for us to have at the tree giveaway, for anybody to take a look at distances and things that we should try to keep the right of way clear for power lines, so we don't plant a tree and NIPSCO comes and cuts them off in a few years.
This is actually the whole packet that I give out to customers, along with, this is the newsletter. It's like an information packet that I leave at every residence when I'm going to be doing any type of maintenance work, where we're clearing the lines for NIPSCO. So yeah, there's some really good recommendations in there, and especially if you're planting species like red oak and white pine. They've got such an extensive root system, they're going to really affect your sewers, your streets. If you're planting them in easement street side, they're going to raise the sidewalks. And white pine is a fast grower, so
Very much so, yes.
yeah. So that's like the type of experience I have that I've been doing for the last 5 years. I'm usually called in like to do tree risk assessment too, where you have a tree that's in poor health. In fact, I just left Valparaiso. I'm working with the city of Valparaiso on probably about a 100-year-old maple that's in an easement, and it probably should have came out a long time ago. Half of it's dying and dead because there's just not enough soil around where the tree was planted to support that tree when it gets older. So that's the kind of things I would bring to the table, if I was your forester / arborist for the city.
That information is very,
Thank you.
very useful, and we will have that at the tree giveaways so people
Thank
know
you.
to try to keep away from the power
Yeah,
lines.
that's fine.
How will
Certain size trees.
what are you saying we'll have it? Because
What's that?
Are you saying?
I'll just have that there, yeah, for people to look at, just like the sheets that we've got.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess if I may make a comment, yeah, Jim, I would agree, this is verging into an interview part here, procedure. But it did seem like when the mayor brought you down, he said that you were gonna tell us about some things, like it sounded like maybe with the arborist or the position or something, and he said, Mark will tell you all about that. So I'm not sure if there were things that you were asked to convey to us. It sounded like there might be.
Well, I've worked with a lot of the towns. In fact, I worked with the city of Michigan City years ago back at Marquette Mall. They had planted a line of silver maple along US 20 in Franklin. And I was called in, it was probably about 5 years ago, to take those trees out because they had grown into the power lines there. And that was another example of the types of trees, you just don't want to put in easements. They're just going to cause a lot of problems for the city as well. I mean, with sidewalks and streets. I've also worked with the town of Chesterton. I've had to do projects out there. I removed a lot of the maples that they had planted at Dogwood Park. And I had to attend several of the town council meetings there because those trees had to be removed to make way for the power lines that were there.
So like a bushy short tree like the gray dogwood, that might be okay?
Oh, yeah.
Under power lines?
Yeah, those are good ones. Serviceberry is another really good one. I don't know if you...
We gave those out last year.
Yeah.
No,
Those
this
What we
year.
have in short trees is pawpaw, redbud,
Redbud are good.
and what's the other short?
Flowering crabapple, if you can get
We don't
crab.
have
We
that.
have that this year.
Yeah, those are another really good
And I
one.
think the gray dogwood, the pawpaw, and the redbud were probably the three the shortest varieties of trees. So those could be generally close to the power lines at the sidewalk and that.
Yes.
Well, no, I appreciate that information, so thank you.
Yes.
We will share that information.
And then I don't think I asked my question well, but it seemed like the mayor may have been trying to tell you that there was some information you all discussed about the position changing from forester to arborist that he wanted you to share with us. I could have gotten that wrong, but that's what I was here. I don't know if there was anything more that you had.
Yeah, see, for me, the term pretty much is interchangeable between forester and arborist. I mean, it's
Okay, so
A minor
I
point,
see.
but
I thought
I guess
he was
for
saying
you-
to convey
yeah.
some stuff. Okay, all right.
as far as the
Thank
job description, I guess there is a difference, so.
you.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah. But I want to provide whatever assistance I can provide to the tree board. That's really what my original intention was. I'm going to be retiring from Arbormetrics, and my wife told me, she says, you better find something to do in retirement. You're not staying home every day feeding the birds. So I wanted to offer my assistance to you in that either capacity. I mean, if you need another member for the board, I'm a local person and I spend a lot of time here.
Maximum number of members for the.
We're down one
We're
person.
down one, so you
Yeah.
should submit that
Yeah.
interest to the mayor's
Yeah.
office,
Yeah.
once the mayor makes that appointment.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
So-
go to the city clerk's office, there's a thing you can fill out.
Yeah. And I also noticed that, what was your previous forester, Arnett was her name?
Yeah,
She still has an active website up. When I went to research like Michigan City Forestry, she has a website that's up with her name and phone number for the city of Michigan City. So are you aware of that?
yeah,
or-
no, I'm not. My understanding is she's in Tennessee.
Yeah, she's
Teaching.
long gone.
Yeah.
But the site is still up and there's a lot of good information on there.
I imagine there would be. I
Yeah.
need to look at it.
I don't know
Is
who
that
maintains.
the E-Michigan City site?
It's a spin-off from that. There's links in that website.
No, it's not
to take
E-Michigan
you-
City.
Well, there's links
A
in
link
there.
from,
Yeah, there's a link in that to E-Michigan City.
okay.
Huh.
But it's, if you Google
Yeah,
Michigan City Forestry,
I sure did.
You'll find it.
Forestry. See, I was doing forester.
Forestry,
Okay,
it still comes
Okay.
up.
Thank you for that. I don't
Yeah.
think any of us were aware. of that.
right, no.
It's a really nice website, but somebody should have control of that, or at least move the information over and make it
Yep.
current. I think it says on there that the tree board starts at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, which we
We
used to.
changed a while, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
anyway, so
And it says that
this-
on E-Michigan City too.
I would be glad to send you my resume and my application. I just didn't know who to send it to? I can send it via email?
Does,
Mayor's
personnel
office.
have
Mayor's
it?
got it,
Okay.
yeah. And this is my business card. I brought 2 more. I don't know if either, that's got my ISA credentials on it and certification number.
You wanna see this?
All right,
No, I don't need it.
So I don't know if there's anything else you wanted from me at this
I
time.
think that's it for now. Once we get your resume, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
All right, takes us out of new business. We talked about the board signage for use at events. That's something that was already discussed. Comments from the board members? Any comments?
I will talk with you after this meeting, Tim, if I may. When I was talking with Steve Hahn from Vector Control, he mentioned that there was something that, a block that had some tree issues that he doesn't, he said it's not his expertise and he's looking for guidance.
Okay.
On Faulkner Street, right?
Yes.
Sounds like you're familiar with the issue
600
there.
Faulkner,
600 block of Faulkner, yeah.
I would just make the comment that I would encourage Mr. Pastorelli to submit the application, and we can consider it and have
Sure.
an executive session interview or whatever. But I also think we should, you're going to follow up with the mayor's office by getting this link, and
Yep.
and let's do what we can to advertise the position in other venues and see if we can't,
Yeah,
get
and
this process moving again.
I've asked several times for the link to the job description, and it hasn't been forthcoming, but now that the mayor was here and said he'd get it to us, I'll make sure he does. See if I
That's
can do-
encouraging,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I've gotten a hard copy of the job description, but
Yeah,
not linked
not
to
linked,
it.
yeah, we want to
Yeah.
have it.
And I think knowing what to do for forester or / arborist questions that are coming up right now that need to
Yeah.
be dealt with, especially if we get into the warmer weather.
Sure.
Any other comments from any board members? Comments?
Do we, question, do we have any information about the timeline for the mayor to appoint the 7th member of the board to replace?
If he's got some candidate in mind, he could do it that day, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what he did with me. I mean, he called me at night and I came in the next day, did my swearing in, and I was in.
And your life has been great ever
It's
since?
been fantastic. I don't know how I lived without this before. But in any event, next meeting, I do want to, go ahead.
Public comments, do you have anything else you'd like to say?
No.
Public comments? Hearing no other.
No.
Next meeting, and this is something we need to discuss, so it's more or less me and public comments, I guess. We right now show our next meeting next month at the mayor's conference room. We had Drew White from Alco come by and ask if we were interested in doing meetings
Yes.
at his building. Is that what we would like to start doing?
Absolutely.
I'm very agreeable to that.
Where is his building?
It is 301 East 8th Street, the Alco Studios, the former...
But you actually
Marsh
enter
School.
from 9th Street.
Oh, right downtown?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Spring and Cedar, it's the, like IBEW is
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Why
it's like
not?
Wheels on
corner of
Wheels.
Ninth and,
The old
yeah,
school
9th
building
and
there.
Cedar.
They
Yeah.
can get our profiles better that way, or what?
Yeah, I think so. He
Well,
he won't have to
Kevin
pack up
doesn't have to
everything.
schlep
right.
his
Yes.
equipment over here, it'll
Yeah.
all be there.
So I-
Because their office is there.
Sounds fine.
I recommend that we change our meeting to the Alco Studio at 301 East 8th Street, starting next month, June 1st.
I so move, if we need to do that, or,
I second.
My only concern would be for the public if, I presume there's room and anybody
There
in the
is
public
much
wants to
more
come there.
room for
can
public
do
to
that.
show up there than here.
Yeah.
As long as we don't, as long as it's publicized and people know that
True.
we've moved, so they
Yeah.
have access to this if they want.
And
Good
we'll-
point.
We'll have the same agenda information go out to the website on that meeting, so.
Right.
So yeah, next time, Laura, if you can change that to the Alco
Yes.
Studios
Yes.
instead of the mayor's conference room
Okay.
here at City Hall, that would be
Yes.
good.
And
And
I
we'll
hope I remember that.
meet
Okay.
there.
So-
It'll go out to everybody too. So.
Yeah.
there is a motion on the floor then, to
All in
move it.
favor of changing our venue for our meetings?
Aye.
Seconded. Opposed? All right, then our next meeting will be at the Alco Studios on June 1st at 6:30 PM. So Kevin, if you can make sure that you tell Drew to shoo everybody out of there, that day we'll be there. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
I just want to make everybody aware that our next meeting is June 1st. So don't wait till June 1st or 2nd and say, well, I wonder when the first Wednesday is, because it's gone.
Do we meet every month during the summer, or does
Yes.
the board ever
Yes,
takes
we
it?
meet every month.
Okay.
All right, I had a motion. All those in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? All right, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.